The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Mark Fantasy. A brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5. Give $50 bonus funds. Use the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Friday morning, December 19th, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Reichel, once again joined by Adam Roseberg together to break down our favorite props here for the Friday card. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
It's good. I got to hang out with. Can you hear me on this?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hotel mic. All right, great. Well, I hung out with Moneyline Mac last night. So
nice.
Fun. Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was good. We watched the Bills game. So now I'm trying to find my charger, and yeah, and that's pretty much it. But I don't know. Baseball's been a little bit AIDS-y lately, up and down. Great day 2 days ago. Not a great day yesterday. Good day on football. Let's just close this season.
Are you a fan of the really cliche advice of, do you remember where you last saw your charger, which is the most obvious thing to think of?
Like, if I knew that, like, I would have
You'd know where it was. Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's usually the immediate question people ask as soon as you lose something is, where do you have it last? But if you knew that, you'd know where it was.
Yeah, I mean, I have backups on backups, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. I would really like
Joe wants to know if you and Mac are getting an apartment together in Morgantown.
No, he got one. He got a second one or something.
Nice.
He told me that last night. It's like $700 a month. I'm like, that's awesome. So
it's a hell of a deal. But either way, point is, we're here to break down the props once again here for Friday. The last episode, I went 1 and 2. Coincidentally, the only play that I hit was the OnlyFams no hits at around like plus 173. Some people got 185. So if you ended up back in my plays, you basically broke even, slightly down. But it is what it is. We'll try to do a little bit better here on the Friday card. Anyway, anything you want to talk about? We should just move on into the plays.
No, I mean, I was great on the last show. That's the thing. It's like you said, like, if people are tailing all of our stuff, like the show is never always down. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have, it is very rare to have. I think we've once in the entire season had a double reverse sweep.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've had many in general. I think I've probably had like two or three by myself.
Yeah, I've had like 3 or 4, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But I see Jason mentioning that he's shocked that Molly's over hits is at 3.5 minus 108, because I talked about it yesterday, how he hasn't pitched in a while. And
he hasn't pitched in forever.
Yeah, I like the over on that, Jason, but that was not one of the plays I picked. But I do think at the end of the day, it's a pretty low line for Molly, who is coming off the 60. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys I looked at. There's a lot of guys whose numbers indicate that they're not going distance.
Yeah,
or that like Charlie Morton is his earned run is 1.5.
Oh, I'm gonna get to Morton in a second, because I have a couple of plays on Morton.
Oh, you do? Okay, because I have some stuff too. All right.
Yeah, but either way, a point is, before
we don't have the same ones, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I don't think so.
I only have one.
Oh, I see. Okay, you have a different. Yeah. Okay. Well, we both have the same feeling about
similar concept, but slightly different. Yeah. But either way, before we get into any of the props though for Friday, a reminder that you can check out all the picks and podcasts for SGPN for free by going to the App Store. Very easy location. Go to the SGPN app in the App Store for easy access to all of our free picks and props, and of course podcasts. So moving on to the props here for the Friday card. Adam, I'm going to let you go first. What's going to be your first player prop for Friday?
Sorry, I saw somebody use the word cutting edge to describe something about their work, and I think that they're lying, that they are not doing anything cutting edge. And if
they spell cutting edge right, did they use a hyphen?
I don't know, but if you ever describe your job as cutting edge, you are a effing loser.
Unless you sell knives.
Unless you sell knives. Nobody does that. All right, so Fade Robbie Ray Day. Do you know how many Ks he has against Ohtani? I'm just staying away from that game, but I see my boy CJ slipping.
You're missing out on history. You got Kershaw on his final home regular season start.
Yeah, which is yeah. I think is he going to pitch out of the bullpen in the playoffs? Probably.
Truth is, I'm not even sure, because you have Ohtani who's going to get moved to the bullpen. You have Sasaki, who might get called up from the dead to be in the bullpen as well.
Oh, that's right. They haven't even done. CJ, we got to talk about this on our pod. Yeah, like I didn't even think about that.
They might give Kershaw maybe 1, and we'll just see how it goes from there. But I actually don't know.
All right. Well, let's talk about some other players of that era that are not doing as well. And one of them is Michael Andrew Trout. I have no idea if his middle name is Andrew, but it's Trout.
Right.
He's been terrible. He's won for his last 19. He's got a 60% K rate. I don't care that he's going against Mookie Blaylock or whoever is on the.
It's Nelson, by the way. It's Mike Nelson Trout.
Mike Nelson Trout. Okay. Well, I have a Ryan Nelson prop too, so that's why he had me.
Okay, there we go. Everything's coming together.
Mike Nelson Trout under 1.5 total bases is plus 105. So, like I said, he's won for his last 19. This is a very much a wind down of the I think the Mike Trout era in Anaheim. He's also, the reason why I like it is because he's off of total bases. He got his total bases. He's off 2 hits, a 2-hit game. But other than that, he's only gone over this 3 times in his last 10 games. And on the road, he's been even worse. It's been out of his last, he's terrible. 3 out of his last, he's only gone over his, on the road, he's only gone over his total bases 3 out of the last 20 games. That's awful. So
not good.
Plus money. We're going to take this. I know it's stinky because it's in cores, but plus money for Mike Trout to continue to not do well. 60% K rate is astronomical. They have him leading off because they're just trying to get him going. I don't know why they're trying to get him going, but yeah, Mike Trout to not really do anything. Plus money, plus 105.
I'll tell you what, though, on the bright side for Angels fans, at least he's still healthy in September. Question mark, I guess. Yeah. I mean, if he's alive, but he's not doing anything, does that count? Because it's kind of where we're at.
How wild is that? That he's actually been pretty healthy,
or that he stinks?
That turns out that he stinks. That he's actually washed.
I'm not going to be totally shocked by it when you have that many injuries over the years.
Sure.
I'm shocked he actually played as many games this season as he did.
Yep.
Which is a very low bar, but I feel like Angels fans are just happy to actually see him alive on a field. So we'll see what happens, but either way, Trout is definitely not the guy that he used to be, and it is what it is. So we'll see if he ends up leaving the Angels. We'll see if he ends up becoming a guy who has actual playoff experience, maybe on a different franchise for a little bit, maybe as like a bench bat, a platoon guy. We'll see what happens, but who knows? As Angels,
I don't know. I think he needs so many more reps than that. I don't know what they're going to do.
I think he does too. But if you're asking what I think his realistic outcome is moving forward, it's probably being a platoon guy on a decent team. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I mean, platooning against what is, I guess, the kind of the thing. You got to have one side of your splits have to be good for you to do that. I agree.
I think one team, though, we see a lot of, especially the Yankees. Like, for example, as a fan of a team, they'll sign a bunch of washed old guys to like see if they can channel something left in terms of like juice. I could see a team doing that with Trout. You can't see that. I mean, the Yankees brought Goldschmidt into the mix this past year.
Yeah, he came out hot too. So
that's what I'm saying. But the point is, Goldschmidt last year wasn't that great. But they said, screw it. The Yankees traded for Ahmed Rosario. Like I think that there is some room for some older guys to have a spot on a decent team. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think I agree with you though. In general, the Angels fans definitely remember the injury-riddled prime as opposed to right now, because it's not very pretty for Mike Trout. Anyway, a point is moving on to my first player prop for the show. I'm going to go to the Cubs and Reds game. Reds won 1-0. Hunter Green was really, really damn good yesterday. This time, I'm going to go with the Cubs pitcher for this one. I'm going to go with Imanaga. I'm going to take his over 17.5 outs at minus 108. Imanaga, despite having some decent numbers recently, not exactly shut down, he's been going distance. He's had at least 18 outs in 7 of his last 8 starts. Main reason, doesn't really walk anybody, throws a bunch of strikes, and I think he should get into some pretty good counts here against the Reds. He's had at least 19 outs in both career starts against the Reds, and over the past 4 weeks, the Reds have been awful against lefties. Past 4 weeks, the Reds have the 4th lowest WRC plus against lefties. But Imanaga has gone over this number in 7 of his last 8 starts, despite constantly giving up 3 earned runs. So I do think you're looking at Imanaga, who could shove, even if he gives up some runs.
It's usually early. It's usually first time through the order.
I was going to say, though, Imanaga's pitch count's usually under control. And I do think that the Reds offense, by winning yesterday, only scored 1 run. The offense hasn't really been doing much recently. So I'll go with Imanaga here, who's been good historically against this team. Give me Imanaga over 17.5 outs at -108.
Yep.
So-
We want him to win tonight and then his last start, and he can cash our over win total.
Yeah, but point is the Reds won despite not hitting yesterday. And I know that Rhea did go 7 innings, so the bullpen is pretty much intact for Chicago, but I'll back the Imanaga success he's had against Cincinnati. The fact that the Reds have been awful against
He's pretty
lefties.
efficient when he needs to be. He doesn't walk anybody.
Yeah, that's the point. But the Reds, once again, the 4th lowest WRC plus against lefties in the last month. So I do think it's a good matchup for Imanaga. I'll go with him there. See, Joe asking about the walks. I like the under for Imanaga, 1.5 walks. He's been great recently at avoiding free passes, and we know the Reds can be free swingers. More than
minus 250. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of the point there. The fact that his under 1.5 walks is minus 250. It means you're not giving out many free passes, which should keep your pitch count relatively low.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my first prop for the Friday card. Adam, what's going to be your second prop?
Second one that I'm going to go with. Let's get into this Charlie Morton fade, which I think you and I both have on the agenda. Okay.
There were so many choices, by the way.
So many choices, and I went with Ronald Acuna Jr.
Okay.
Over 1.5 total bases. Someone calling me from where's Platteville, Wisconsin?
I'm assuming it's in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, you went there, so.
No, UW Platteville. That's where Bo Ryan was from before he went to Madison.
All right.
I think he coached at Platteville. It's like It's like a D3, I think.
All right. So Ronald Acuna Jr.'s got 7 hard hits and 2 barrels in his last 5. He's got 11 total bases in that time. He's kind of picked it back up. And Charlie Morton, you're going to talk about this, I'm sure, but he has an ERA of 9 in his last 3 starts, an ERA of 7 at home in his last 3 home starts.
Oh, I have data. Don't you worry. I have data on Morton. Don't worry.
Right-handed batters are absolutely smoking him. And Acuna's just been looking in good form. So I think this is at plus 120. These are old school Acuna prices. I'll take him. He's batting third again. So plus 120 for Ronald Acuna Jr. To have over 1.5 total bases.
Yeah, we can talk about maybe his fantasy score later if we want to for underdog.
Do that.
But either way, before we get into my second player prop for the Friday card, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, MyBookie.ag. Who's Bookie?
Who's Bookie? My Bookie.
So using to bet on football, college football, they have prop builders as well, which is second to none. They have a motto, pretty simple to follow. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, which is pretty straightforward and something we can agree with. Use crypto for deposits and payouts when you sign up for a new account. Use code SGPN, get 100%. Bet back bonus $500 for new customers. MyBookie.ag promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, we're getting some of the best prices available. It's also available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app. Bet $5, get $50 bonus funds when you use the promo code SGPN. Get on the action with Novig. Promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple props for the Friday card. Time to move on into my second prop for the show. So you just mentioned a fade of Morton because you're going to back Acuna. I'm going to back a guy who has been pretty good lately, a guy that actually got mid-season. I'm going to go with Ha-Seong Kim. I'm going to go with his over 1.5 HRR at plus 105. He's been good lately, quietly good. He's had at least 2 HRR in 5 straight. He's also been good on the road. He's had at least 2 HRR in 8 of his last 9 road games. And Morton, you mentioned some of the numbers. The last 4 starts, 15 2/3 innings, 19 hits allowed, 9.19 ERA. He might stink again. But the fact is, Detroit's kind of in free fall. The Braves have been hitting the ball well lately. I don't think anybody cares because this team sucks, but they've been good lately. It's good enough for me. And I think Kim can do some damage here. Point is, Kim has been good. It's plus money. I'll back him here in the spot. Give me Ha-Seong Kim over 1.5 HRR at plus 105.
Love it.
So there you go. Moving on to your final prop for the Friday card. What do you like?
So we're going to go from Michael Nelson Trout to Ryan Nelson over on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson is going to go over 16.5 outs at minus 119. He's over an 8 of 10, 6 straight, 7 straight home starts. He hasn't gone under this actually since June 13th. So he's sort of celebrating a 3-month anniversary of this. It's pretty nice. He's going to go out somewhere. And I'm sure if he's in Arizona, he's going to go out with someone who is a hairdresser or something like that, or whatever they do in Scottsdale, and enjoy himself. Yeah, he pitched into the 8th against the Phillies in August. Phillies against in this Dodgers series that they had, actually both right-handed starters went over their outs line. This Phillies team can catch the Brewers, but they're not really. It's keep the lights on and avoid injuries right now because they got the division, they got the inside track to get a bye. No reason to get cute. I'm not saying they're going to tank or something like that, but
for the record, by the way, when you say that they can catch him, there's about 9 games to go, and they're currently 3 back.
Yeah, right.
So it's not that realistic, but it's possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not real. It is not likely, but their floor is high, and they could.
That's the word. That's the words I'd use. Not likely. That's kind of
not likely, but they're not. They want to secure that they're also getting that bye too.
Yeah.
So I think that's more important to them. So that being said, let's go with Ryan Nelson. Again, he's been kind of a machine on this one. Gallen is going tomorrow, who Phillies have had really good history with. So maybe there's something in how they're kind of playing around with some stuff.
Maybe he's tipping. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Well, dude, he's 12 and 14. He literally has a decision in every single start.
Yeah. Well,
that's wild.
I have to give Gallen a shout though, because I ended up fading Gilbert last game, and he had no hits against Gallen. So at least Gallen came through for me once.
Philly guy. Voorhees. All right. So, Ryan Nelson, over 16.5 outs. I think he has 6. He's also under his innings limit from last year. So even if they're like still trying to get this wild card that we think apparently they may do, this is kind of relevant. So I do think that they're going to lean on him pretty deep into this because they actually have competitive games to play. So Ryan Nelson, over 16.5 outs.
Yeah, he's also been good at home. So despite it being a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark, Nelson's been good at home for most of the season. Yep. Maybe that helps out, but I like it. I thought it was a low number. I kind of thought it might be at 17.5, but 16.5. I'm not saying he's going to get pulled mid-6th inning, but I'm surprised where the number opened up. I thought it'd be 17.5.
Look, he's got an expected ERA of 3.43 and an ERA of 2.4, but they're both still within that elite zone over the last 5 starts. He's fine. So he's been great. He's not walking guys either. His BABIP's low. The whip's really low. He's looking really good.
Yeah. Moving on to my final prop for the show, I'm going to go with my classic no-hits play. For this one, I am going to go with a plus money play. I'm going to back a guy who is pretty unknown for the Mets in Sproat, who's actually been pretty good so far this season. I'm going to go with Riley Adams. I'm going to take his no-hits at plus 115. He's had no hits in 6 of the last 7 games, and Sproat is pitching for the Mets. Been very good against righties. 27 plate appearances, a 167 batting average, but Adams, simply put, not very good. He has been decent against the Mets, I'll admit it, but the fact is I still don't think he's a good catcher in terms of hitting. He's batting below 200 this season, and it's plus 115. So I'll go with him. Why not? You know that I have to kind of include a no-hits guy every single episode. Give me Riley Adams at plus money at, once again, the no-hits angle for Riley Adams. Thoughts?
I like it. There was a couple guys that I was looking at for no hits. I mean, Trout ended up being obviously the closest, and so I get it.
I was looking for others, but I saw Adams at plus money and said sure.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's going to wrap it up for my 3 plays. And now it's time for the miscellaneous section. Anything you want to share in the platonic props?
No, I'm trying to bring some of the volume down because I think that we just got to. I'd rather us kind of get these and get in, get out. Let's get some wins. Baseball has been a little bit AIDSy lately. But the other 2 that didn't make the card, if that's what people care about, Jackson Merrill over 1.5 total bases, and George Springer. I actually like his 2 hits more than his total bases. 2 hits at plus 150. He's just kind of consistently been able to do that. So, but neither were ones I wanted to pull the trigger on like I did the Acuna one.
Yeah, I was going to mention Molly with his over 3.5 hits allowed, which I thought was a good deal. That's even money on exchange. I see minus 108, which I didn't mind. I was considering maybe going for Trevor Rogers under earned runs at 2.5. Got pulled the last start. Yankees. I was going to say Yankees have been good lately, but Rogers was also.
They've been really good lately against lefties too. Like they've been.
That's why I stayed away from it. But that's why I wanted to mention it because I ended up passing on that.
He was on my. I looked at it too, but I can't, the day after what they did to Povich, I can't. A guy who you and I have both said like, where's this Trevor Rogers coming from? Like, I'm not. I just can't. 1 week left in the season.
I was going to say, I'm trying to remember the stat that I mentioned to Lonte on the MLB show. I think he's allowed less than 3 earned runs in 11 straight starts.
Yeah, it's like I think he's had one start where he's even gone more than that, and it was kind of fluky.
I thought about the under 2.5 earned, though, because one, he's been good. 2, if something flares up from the last start, maybe he gets pulled earlier, which could be a possibility there.
Maybe it'll be in the mystery parlay.
Maybe. Point is, though, is that I ended up...
Are you lobbying for it to be in the mystery parlay?
I'm not. I just wanted to mention it because that was
a
talking point that I had for the MLB show last night. So that's why I was asking. Besides that, I know somebody mentioned it last episode. So a play that I actually gave out earlier in the season. I can go back to it. I didn't mind Meadroth single for this one.
I looked at that too.
But, of course, that does involve going against Cease, who has been pretty good lately. But my thoughts on Cease are documented. It's like minus 125.
I almost came here with Cease Ks, by the way.
Yeah, but the point is I think Cease should go okay. But Meadroth, the only thing he does is hit singles. So I thought about his prop there, minus 125. Didn't want it, though, 125. I kind of wanted it closer to even money. But either way, ended up passing on that. But those were some, I'd say, second cut props that didn't make the final cut. So there we go.
Cool. Yeah.
Anything else we're going to talk about?
Not really.
Cool. So before we get into the best bets and, of course, the underdog entry, a reminder they're brought to you by our sponsor, which is Underdog Fantasy. Use them to play a fantasy pick'em entry, 500 times your entry, pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available in a ton of different sports. You could also use a new offer for the customers. Play just $5, $50 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Check out Rhythm for college football and the NFL. Off to a great start in both. They have a leaderboard system now with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Simply put, build a model, track 5 bets of the same type from any model that you build, and you can win 1K. The bets do not have to win. Just build the model, track 5 plays, and you are officially entered into the giveaway for a chance to win 1K. No questions asked. Use the promo code SGPN25 to download the Rhythm app for a quarter off your first month. Download the Rhythm app with the promo code SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through our props for the Friday card. Time to move on into our best bets. Adam, what's going to be your best bet for the card? Is it Nelson? You're going full Nelson?
Full Nelson.
Okay. And what was the price on that for Trout again?
No. I'm not going that. Not
that
Nelson.
Sorry, not Nelson. You're going the other one. My bad. I wanted to make a full Nelson joke the entire time, but it still works. So what's the price on Ryan Nelson?
Ryan Nelson, 119 over 16.
Okay, 119. So for mine, I'm going to go with Kim, actually. I'm going to fade Morton. I like the plus money. The fact is he's batting, I believe, 6th in the order, which is towards the bottom, not entirely, but the Braves have been decent offensively. Morton's been terrible. Last 4 starts, 15 2/3, 19 hits, 9+ ERA. A lot of guys might get on base here. Tigers are also in free fall, so we'll see what happens, but Kim is going over this in 8 of his last 9 road games. He's gone over in 5 straight. So give me the plus money on Ha-Seong Kim over 1.5 HRR at plus 105. Underdog. I know I mentioned before, if you wanted to recycle Acuna, but change it up slightly for fantasy score for something else, we can do that. Do you want to go with Acuna?
Want to go some of the guys who didn't make the card?
We can talk about that too, but I didn't mind Acuna against Morton too.
Okay. Look.
So
Josh
we
Jacobs
can start
comes
there.
Up when I put in Acuna. You want to do Acuna total bases?
Just out of curiosity, what's the fantasy score?
8.5.
Okay.
We could do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's do it. Right.
Because he can score raw and he can get a hit or two.
Trevor Rogers. Do you want to do something with the Trevor Rogers?
I mean, it depends how much you buy into his injury. I'll ask you this, though, because Baltimore sucks. Is there a chance first start off injury, they just pull him after 5 and just say, all right, on to the next one? Are they gonna wrap him in bubble wrap, basically, is what I'm asking? Because he's been really good and the team's playing for nothing.
I don't think they want
He's out for 15.5, so it feels like they might be giving him less work in this one.
All right, well,
potentially.
Let's do the lower.
On the outs?
Yeah. No, on the earned. I don't want to do that angle.
On the earned runs. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it. I think there's a chance he gets pulled just for precautionary measures after 5.
Yeah, I've been to that. Okay, so then the third one, I really liked Jackson Merrill.
That's fine.
Against Davis Martin.
Yeah, that works.
Total bases.
Sure.
He's been kind of on the tear. Okay. Ronald Acuna, higher 8.5 fantasy points. Trevor Rogers lower 2.5 earned runs, and Jackson Merrill higher 1.5 total bases at alleged payout 6.36. I love saying that it's alleged.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it in for us.
All right. So just to recap our plays once again. So my plays, I'm going to go with Imanaga over 17.5 outs, minus 108. I'm going to go with Kim over 1.5 HRR at plus 105. That is my best bet. And Riley Adams, no hits at plus 115. Adam, what were your plays once again?
Ryan Nelson over 16.5 outs, minus 119. Ronald Acuna Jr. over 1.5 total bases at plus 120. And Michael Nelson Trout under 1.5 total bases at plus 105.
Yeah, last point, I see Jason mentioning that the Yankees team total under 2.5 in the first 5 is minus 165. I would not take that because I think that, once again, Rogers might only go 5 in this start. So I'd rather go with his earned runs under. I could be wrong. In theory, if he gives up a couple runs in the 6th, you lose. But after leaving last start early, I think it was a blister on his toe, there's a chance he gets pulled earlier. So I would prefer to go earned runs under as the parlay option instead of the team total for the Yankees' first 5. That's my thoughts. See, Joe asking about Kershaw. Truth is, I thought about the strikeouts, but 3.5 was juiced heavily to the over. I would be 4.5 for nothing.
I'm not really into the
numbers
Kershaw
have
one.
been pretty underwhelming lately, so I'm not interested. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he had texted
I looked
me about
into
that.
it. I tried to look into it. I didn't see much.
Yeah, he had texted me about that this morning, and like I don't see it. The swinging rate and the whiff rate are there, and that's fine. But the strikeouts aren't actually there. Plus on like I'm looking at this Giants lineup now, and
you see the game yesterday? They had 1 hit in the entire game.
So
I think they walk 11 times yesterday.
Yeah, they're walking a ton, but the K rates aren't there. There's only in terms of how I look at trying to get K props, like it's not a play for me. Not at that price. Not at that. Like if it was like 3.5 at plus 135 or something, I would maybe take a bite, but it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, I looked it up, by the way. Giants had 1 hit yesterday, 10 walks, and they lost the game 2-1. So there you go. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for the show. A reminder that we are going to be back for the MLB prop show on Monday.
Wait, we might not be. I'm sorry to discuss this right now, but because I'm flying back Monday, so we will not be back.
So never mind. But a reminder, we do have the NFL prop show that we did yesterday, and we gave out some Thursday night winners. I know that I had Kincaid first quarter receiving yards, got over easily. I think he had like 40 in the first quarter. But check out the prop show for the NFL week 3. I know that that's going to be available in the Propcast, so check that out. And, of course, we have MLB prop stuff. Maybe we will not be back on Monday. We'll see. But we're back on Wednesday if that's the case. Anyway, Adam, anything else you want to add?
No.
Cool. So you can find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Hey Rosenberg. And until next time,